Hi there, and welcome to the Carl with a C show on Breakthrough TV. I'm your host, Carl with a C. On this show, we'll be exploring music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. We'll be giving you news, scoops, and reviews. This week's show, we also have a wonderful guest. Her name is Elaine. She's a fitness instructor. She's also a radio presenter. So let me say a big round of applause for Elaine and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you, Elaine?
I'm fine, thank you. Fine, thank you very much.
We also have a feature on our show called Our Giant of Music. I'll also be telling you about an artist to watch. Finally, I will be giving you my personal view of what's happening around the world. So, grab a drink, sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
You say you couldn't stay.
So, Elaine, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
And how was your journey here today?
It wasn't too bad at all. It
Wasn't too bad.
No,
You've had a good journey.
hardly any traffic on the road.
And how's the lockdown going?
It's just going. It's just going. What can you do?
It's just going.
You know.
Oh, we don't know where it's going,
No,
do we?
exactly.
We don't know where it's going.
Comply and just follow the rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are a fitness instructor. Let me start you by you are a fitness instructor.
Yes, I'm a health and wellness. I'm a health and wellness advisor
Okay.
and instructor.
Okay.
Official title, because I also work for a company called Nuffield Health.
Okay.
There, I'm a health and wellbeing personal trainer.
Yeah. And when you say fitness instructor, it sounds like you get all kind of you conjure up all
That's
kind
right.
of things in your head.
That's why I don't use the term. Because as soon as you mention the word fitness,
Yeah.
society have moulded their own idea of what it should be
Okay.
or how you should look, and
Okay.
sometimes they're looking at the fitness. I'm like, no, fitness means it is on very many different levels.
Okay.
So I say health and wellness.
So what exactly do you do?
I give advice
Okay.
on health and your lifestyle,
All right.
and I also instruct fitness classes or exercise classes.
Okay.
So quite a wide variety of things. I give advice on nutrition as well, on general well-being,
Yeah.
and just general health and wellness.
And how do you find that?
I love it.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, really enjoy it. I've been probably in this industry now for, I'd say, just over 10 years.
Okay.
It was a hobby to start off with, my previous career, and I said, when I retire, this is what I want to do, but it just happened to come into play earlier, and I really, really enjoy it. Every minute of it. I actually enjoy getting out of bed in the morning early at 5 o'clock in the morning to go and open up the gym, which is a nightmare, but I only do it a couple of days a week for the company I work for.
Okay.
I also work for myself, so I'm like what you would call freelance instructor.
Okay.
So I work at many different gymnasiums or health clubs.
And do you work out? What's you work out? What sort of things do you do when you work out? Do you work out? You run? You jog?
myself?
Yeah, for yourself. What do
For
you,
myself,
keep
I
fit?
used to run quite a lot.
Mhm.
Not so much now, as a few knee injuries have put that to rest.
Mhm.
So I do a lot of walking now, power walking.
You do power
And
walking.
I work out with cardio, do a lot of cardiovascular work when I'm actually in what I call the studio at the health centre. I do a lot of epileptical work, which is cardiovascular machines, treadmills. And because I teach a lot of classes, I get my workout from that as well.
Okay,
So,
marvelous.
yeah.
Are you still enjoying it? Are you enjoying it?
Yes, love every minute of it.
That's-
It's nice. I just like the interaction with. I like human interaction.
So you're a people person, yeah.
Very much so, yeah. And it's great when you're,
Because-
at the front of the class teaching and people are vibing off that, your energy.
Yeah, because some
Energy's exchanged.
people are not people person. I don't
Yes, I know.
know if I'm a people person. You know what I mean?
I think you are.
I mean, I get on very well with people, but I don't.
Yes.
Like some people are just like a people
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know if I describe myself as a people person.
I'd say you were.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd say you were.
You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yes, I'd say so.
Yeah, okay. You're also a radio presenter. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, newly become a radio presenter, and quite proud of myself actually, because it's something that I've put off for years and years and years, and because one thing or another, something always, some circumstance in life occurred, and it's something I've always wanted to do. I think because some people say, "Oh, DJ." I'm not a DJ.
Yeah, a DJ.
That skill is on another level for me, and I admire DJs so much. Anybody who can do that is just. I travel the world and follow my favourite DJs, and I watch them, and it's like it's an art form.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that. That's
absolutely fantastic. But I just get drawn into it all. It's absolutely fantastic.
And all that mixing and stuff.
Exactly.
You have to listen to everything.
Exactly. And I can vibe off that, and I get a really good buzz from just watching them perform. And the music's good as well. Can't complain. Okay. So I'd class myself as a presenter. And I wanted to do that for a long time, and I recently started working with New Star Radio, 98.7 FM, in Birmingham, because Birmingham's where I'm from. It's where I was born.
You was born in Birmingham.
Yes, I was born and raised in Birmingham. Lived in different areas of Birmingham throughout my life, and I mean. New Style I've listened to for many years. Okay. And I thought, you know what, there's very little for us to hear. Depends on what music style you're into.
That's right. And
there's not much out there.
And they cover a vast range. Right?
Exactly.
They cover a whole range.
Exactly.
You got so many DJs and presenters doing so many different variations of show.
That's
which
right.
is absolutely marvelous.
That's right.
It's good.
And I thought there's a lot of people who, in my social circles, I've got many different social circles, but most of them are from the soul, the 70s, 80s soul genre.
I was going to ask you, what is your favourite genre of music?
I've got to say 70s. Mid 70s going into mid 80s.
Mid 70s.
Definitely, for the soul aspect. Mm-hmm. I like all genres of music. Yeah. I'm even a bit of a rockhead. I do like rock music, and I have been criticised and teased.
So you like Eddie Van Halen?
I do. It's fantastic.
You like it,
fantastic. I mean, I was teased at school for liking rock music.
So yeah, I do actually like my rock.
Yeah.
But when you're a musician as well, you have to listen to everything.
You appreciate everything.
Which is my advantage.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I do like my rock music, and I love my Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually love the Eddie Van Halen when he played on the Michael Jackson album, you know what I mean? Yeah. Which is just a classic guitar riff.
They were a big band anyway, but Michael Jackson brought them to a different level.
That's right, you know what I mean?
He managed to mix the genres, and he did it so well.
Yeah, when you hear that tune, but it's just...
Yes. You've got to move, haven't you? You've got to move.
You got to move. Favourite artists? You got any favourite artists? What's your favourite artist?
I've got many favourite artists. If we're going back to 70s, 80s, I would say my favourite artist of that time would be Sylvester, who's no longer with us.
Is that one you makes me feel material? That is a big disco tune, isn't it?
Well, that's a massive disco tune, but some of the more underground tunes that never got released or wasn't played as much are the big ones for me. Yeah. He was ahead of his game. He really, really was. I mean, he was an artist, a singer, absolutely fantastic voice. He also did production. Yeah. So he was from that genre. I would say Sylvester. Definitely.
What about groups? Favorite group?
All-time favorite group, Shalimar. I absolutely love them from the day I discovered them, which was
well, all I can say is there it is.
Exactly. Spot on.
I'm gonna say there it is.
Exactly. There it is. But I mean, when I first saw them. I managed to see an episode of Soul Train when I went to America with my parents and to visit some relatives, and we didn't have Soul Train here then, so I was watching the team thinking, what's this? Because I was just discovering my music, my kind of musical style or what music I was into then. Okay. And I thought they're amazing, and then watching Jeffrey Daniel dancing.
I do the Michael Jackson because he taught it's assumed he taught Michael Jackson the moonwalk.
He did.
Jeffrey Daniels.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But at that time, it wasn't Howard Hewitt who was the lead singer. It was another guy, and his name evades me at the moment. And I apologise. I should know his name.
I never knew that. You know, yeah. I always thought Howard Hewitt was the lead singer at that time.
He was the second singer.
Well, there you go. You always learn something there.
They sort of exploded into the commercial world when he became their singer.
I never knew that.
And Jodie Watley was always there.
Yeah, I know Jordan.
Yeah.
I love Jordan Rock. Man. And Shalimar, I remember Shalimar had a different level
Yes.
for bands in the UK. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They got into a different sort of groove.
Definitely.
And it's like, I mean, even though there wasn't from the UK, it's like,
Yeah.
I remember all these people was, wow, Shalimar.
Yeah.
It takes things to another different
Yeah.
level, didn't it?
Yeah. They cross the Atlantic and they just
people
yeah.
was just dressing like this sort
That's
of
right. Yeah.
just dressing that's
Yeah.
a really nice way, yeah,
Yes.
really crisp.
The disco style on
Yeah.
it with a different on a different level.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're an absolutely fantastic group. I went to see them when they came to the UK. Well, when they came to the Odeon in the UK, which is the only place I saw them because in Birmingham, and it was probably the very first concert I went to. That I was allowed to go to because my parents were quite strict. I wasn't allowed out. I was not allowed out. I think I must have been about 18, 19 when they came to the UK, to the Odeon Birmingham. I've never seen anything like it. I walked up there with my friend and I'm like, what? All these people's going, is a concert in the street? Because people all over the place. And normally I go to the Odeon to watch a film. I've never been there to see a concert.
And they're still going.
They're still going.
They're still going. Not
Just different lineup,
not at the same lineup,
Yeah.
but they're still going.
The two originals are still there.
Yeah.
Howard and Jeffrey.
And I remember, and I recall as well, there wasn't, Shalimar was just the guys up front, there was just those guys, but the real guys behind the music, it was like you could say like session musicians.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
What I call a session band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they sounded good. They sounded,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's what they were all about. In the beginning, they were meant to be a session band,
session
then
band.
because they were so good,
Yeah.
and I think it was who was their manager then? I can't remember, but I know Leon Ware did a lot of their production.
That's right.
and he could see potential in them, and they blew up
I
commercially.
tell you what, those days there were some really great bands around.
Yes,
Some really
absolutely
good bands.
fantastic.
One of my favourite bands was a band called The Brothers Johnson.
Yes, Stomp.
Yeah, man.
That was their biggest hit.
I
They
saw
absolutely
Louis Johnson playing bass.
What, in the
my
flesh?
Days. Yeah, I saw
Wow.
I saw Louis Johnson.
Amazing.
Amazing. And you know what? When he was actually playing the bass, he had a box on stage.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I ever see that. There's a couple of guys I see with different style, and I'll never ever see it again. And he had the box, and he was going like this in this box, and he was just stomping out the bass.
Yeah, yeah.
He was just stomping out the musician, and his other brother, but he's no longer with us. You know what I mean? He's not, and Louis Johnson.
Yes.
Louis Johnson played on a lot of the Michael Jackson album.
Yes.
Right
yeah,
up until Thriller.
Yeah, he had.
And he was also a session man for what we call a session man for Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
He plays on a lot of stuff that Quincy Jones plays on.
It's like a little team.
Yes,
They're a
it
little
was-
team,
it was
aren't they?
just- it was-
And
it was-
I noticed that
yeah.
Michael Jackson, because he was the most commercial and the most prominent, he had the same session musicians all the time, and
well,
they were big bands as well.
Yeah,
Big band players.
If you look at the Off the Wall album, the Off the Wall album is Louis Johnson.
Exactly.
The Louis Johnson.
Yeah.
The other album that follows, you know what I mean? It's quite. But the Off the Wall album is mainly everything on the Off the Wall with the bass. Is Louis Johnson.
Wow.
Marvelous. And I think his other brother was called George, the guitarist. You know what I mean? I saw them, but you know.
Oh, that must have been fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. There's a couple of bands I saw as well. A couple of them bands I've saw over the years. And there's another guy who I saw he uses you know that you see ERL now, wireless.
Yes.
Well, the first person I actually saw to actually use what you call a wireless now. I don't think they call it. You would have to say it's a wireless now. Was Phil Lynott.
Really?
From Thin Lizzy.
Wireless.
What it
So that would have been back in the 70s?
It wasn't plugged.
80s?
It wasn't plugged into the. It wasn't plugged into the amp. It was but it wasn't. And he walked around with his bass. You know what I mean? And
He was another fantastic musician.
I saw a clip of it on a television, and he walks around with his bass and he plays marvelous. He was marvelous,
he
and he was like the
he
first
was
guy
on
actually
another
saw that song.
Yeah.
He was, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with Rosalie and
Yes,
all
he was on another level. He was. I still listen to his music
that.
now.
Listen to his music.
Thin Lizzy and absolutely fantastic. I also work part time at one of the universities in Birmingham. I won't advertise them,
No.
but one of my colleagues, he's a musician. He's in a band,
Yeah.
and it's a very rocky, grungy. He's Spanish. He's from Madrid.
Okay.
And he's very rocky, and sometimes he sing a lot of his songs, lyrics are in Spanish, and his English is getting a lot better. When I met him 4 years ago, his English was quite poor. His English is so much better now, and I introduced him to Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynott, and he was just blown away because he plays guitar as well, and he's like, who is this band, Elaine? Who is this band? And I said, actually, they're no longer around. They're no longer going, but they're from, like, I'd say their biggest era was the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And he was just blown away by the.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
and thankfully now we have YouTube, so you can look back at all the old stuff and see the. Yeah.
The trouble when you do, some of the videos don't look quite right.
You look at the video now, and some of them you see, even some of those groups in the 70s, or
Yes.
not even the 70s, in the 80s, you know,
Yeah.
even when sort of discos was going,
Yes.
and some of even when you look at things like the Whispers or those sort of
Yes.
groups, and it looks so smoky.
Yeah.
You think-
I don't know whether they were trying to create an atmosphere or whether it was just.
Yeah.
Everything looks so small. Even people like David Bowie.
Yes.
You see people like David Bowie,
Yeah.
when you look at people like David Bowie, everything looks so smoky, you know what I mean?
Very true.
So, and I don't know what was going
And
on.
old makes the imaging
Yeah.
look old,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
distressed imaging.
Yeah, and even sometimes you see them dancing.
Dancing around, you know what I mean? Even
Yes.
like the disco people,
Yeah.
even and it looks so smoky, and you
Yes.
think, what is going on?
Yeah.
I recall, I was working with some guys years ago, and there was a lot older than me. Like, I was only like a young guy, and they always say to me, "This one of the things they always say to me is when they see Cliff Richards, and Cliff Richard guy, he's always got smoke.
Lovely Cliff.
He's always,
Yes.
he's always got smoke.
Yes,
he
he's-
always got smoke around him. You
Very
know?
true. I think it I don't know what it was or who invented that style of filming. Let's just blow some smoke to let people look. I actually watched a clip of they had a tribute to Cliff Richard on BBC. Not BBC iPlayer. One of the BBC channels. BBC Three is it or BBC Four? I can't remember. One that comes on, it's on TV anyway. One of the channels, and they play a lot of historic stuff. And they had a tribute to Cliff because it was his 80th birthday recently.
Yeah, I think it's really.
Had a tribute to him, and one of the errors for him, for me, when I really, I mean, my parents loved him. And my mum especially says, "Oh, he's a Christian." I'm like, "Yes, mum, but he's also a very good musician." And singer. I didn't ever see him play music. And I saw they played Wired for Sound, which was his massive hit in the 80s. And I still love that song, and I still play that in my exercise classes.
Yes.
And the ladies love it. It's absolutely, it's a brilliant song. I'm like, he must have had a hit in every single
he had.
decade
He has,
up until the noughties. Then he kind of sort of drifted off a little bit.
They always say that, you know.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, but again, looking at the videos, even Wired for Sound, he was on roller skates and there was smoke everywhere. It was roller skating. so yeah, scarf on, roller skates and smoke.
What about reggae music? You ever touched on reggae music?
I think I had a bit of an. I do enjoy reggae music, but I'm more old school.
Yeah.
The new stuff doesn't really
sort of
appeal to me.
Like you
Old
go
school,
people
like
John Holmes.
yeah, the conscious reggae.
The conscious reggae.
Yeah, they're really like the deep stuff. Like Bob Marley was the most famous. Everybody knows Bob Marley, but people like Peter Tosh and
What about Burning Spear?
Burning Spear as well.
Burning Spear.
Anything that has conscious lyrics, I'm into.
Yeah, Burning Spear as
With
well.
a nice beat in the background. And
I
I've looking back to the history of reggae from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of rock music. It's based on rock, like a rock music sound, rock guitar,
reggae.
and then you've got the reggae
Well,
singing over the top of it.
Yeah, well, they've always been,
from my listening.
they've
here
always
anyway.
been influenced by that sort of style.
Yeah.
By that sort of style of
Which I think did Bob Marley start that?
no.
Because he's the first person I heard playing rock guitar really.
But I think a lot of those guys used to listen to people like Jimi Hendrix. They also listen to people like Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
So
yeah.
but they've always had it. You know what I mean? And well, Bob Marley had that guitarist. Can't remember what's his name. Can't quite recall his name. He had that guitarist that makes that music sort of sound so really nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like sort of based on based on rock. But reggae is based on the blues, basically.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Reggae is based on the blues. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they play a lot of in the minor key as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's based on the blues. But yeah.
But
It's,
my love of reggae is more old school. The new stuff I can listen to. I mean, but I think I had my first experience of really being into the reggae scene.
Yeah.
In when I started college. when I was 17,
Okay.
18.
Okay.
My first boyfriend then, he was a reggae head, so they were calling me when I was a soul head. Everybody had a head back then.
Everybody had
Reggae head, you soul head, and all his business.
and you was a curly pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. You spot on there. I was a curly perm head as well.
Was you a curly
I
pyramid?
was allowed to have a curly perm, so it was fantastic. I could actually get a comb through my hair. It was brilliant.
Oh my
Because
days.
I was more into the soul scene
Yeah.
at that college. Everybody was into reggae, so I was the odd one out again. It's like a soul head, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with liking soul? There's nothing. So met this guy, and he took me to all these reggae dances and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, they're all right, but they're not going to play any soul music. So we go up and have a word, because he always knew the person who was playing the music. He'd go up and have a word, and they'd play one soul record, and then that was it.
And that was it.
That was it. But I think in them days, I think I found my lovers rock.
You love
Lovers rock, which was pretty much
I've always-
UK based, wasn't it?
Yeah,
UK origins.
I've always
So-
loved my reggae music. Far from I was in on
Yeah.
there. I've always loved my
Yeah.
reggae. Even when I'm on the genre from ska to
Yes.
to that sort of thing, and then
Yeah.
we coming into the reggae. So I've
Yeah.
always loved my reggae. But one of the advantage for me is that having been most of my life being into music, you know what I mean, listening to music
Yes.
and having been a musician,
Yeah,
you listen to everything.
that's right.
You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
jazz to
That's right.
blues to
Exactly.
reggae to soul.
Yeah,
And one of the reasons why you do this is because you want to learn.
that's right.
You may not be able to play it,
Yeah.
or you may not be able to physically do it, but you want to learn.
Yes.
And there's some licks you hear going on, and I thought, oh, I could use it. That
Yeah.
sounds nice.
Yeah.
So that is why I listen to all different genres
Yeah.
of music.
You
know,
take
and
on
you-
board the different styles,
you-
don't
you
you?
take
And
a-
you mould it into your own.
That's
make
right.
your
You know
own,
what I mean?
produce your own
And
sound.
that is one of the things. So some people say to me, "Oh, what style of music are you into? What style of music are you into?" And that is like a $64 million question
That's
when
right.
you ask
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
because it's very
Yeah.
it's very hard to sort of pin it down. And
Yeah.
I like me jazz. I go back to people like
Yes.
Earl Klug.
I love jazz.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
go back to people like Earl
Yeah.
Klug. One of my favorite bass players, Stanley Clarke.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean?
yes. Absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I go up to people like that.
And he did collaboration with Howard Hewitt from
Yeah.
Shalimar.
And
so-
George Benson,
Yeah.
all those sort
Yes.
of stuff, you know. And even the
And they're
earlier,
still going?
even
Yeah.
the earlier guys before
Yes.
those days.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
it's one of them.
And they
ones
were
that-
big in the 70s, 80s,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it was into the 90s as well,
Yeah.
before the new style of music took over.
George Duke. There's a guy I actually listen
George
to.
Duke's
This
fantastic.
guy is actually well, Joe Pass.
Yeah.
Joe Pass.
Yeah.
Joe Pass is a guitarist,
Mhm.
and if you ever see the way Joe Pass plays, he's a jazz guitarist.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he plays. You know what I mean? And he does all these little
Yeah.
slides, and he does. And when you see it, you think it's so technical, but it's not technical.
Yeah.
And when you see, it's just all these little slides he's doing, and there's
Yeah.
fantastic guitarist.
Wow. And I
Fantastic.
love watching people like that. I mean,
Fantastic
I like
song.
live music. I like live concerts. I like seeing artists on the stage.
Well, you know, I mean,
And I'm one of these people, if I go to a concert and I'm stuck at the back, I'm walking out because I need to be at the front to see what is going on and to hear everything. The point is being up there because I can't hear anything. And
I'll tell
I
you-
just love watching the musicians.
I'll tell you what. One of the things I've been, and I can't knock it. I can't knock it because we are in that environment.
Yeah.
And one of the things I actually sort of, I go, now. I can't. It's very hard for me to go and see a group, and they're not a bunch of musicians and the scream, or to go and see where there's not a band behind them. Because I'm a little bit disappointed when I see even big artists, and
Yes.
they go. And I'm not knocking anybody because I know it's
I
I know
understand.
it's the time for it.
Yeah.
And I go and I see all these big artists,
Yeah.
and they've got a couple of girls dancing around them. a PA,
I know what you mean.
A PA system.
I've been there.
A PA system.
It's not the same.
And there's no band behind them. And
not
that is
the same.
so disappointing.
Wow.
And the thing about it is when you see like really big artists, does
Yes.
it? Big artists who the companies can afford this sort of
That's
stuff. You know
right.
what I mean? And
Exactly.
I'm not knocking it, I'm just talking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing
It is.
because you just
It
don't
is.
get the vibes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just-
Exactly. I fully agree with that, and I've seen a few, and I'm like, well, where's the band?
Yeah.
What's where's the music coming from? It's just it just loses its atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know,
It's not the same, but I think if you really appreciate music
Yeah.
and instruments,
You-
I mean, I can't
yeah.
play an instrument. I so wish I could. My favourite instrument is anything percussion and the violin. I so wish I'd learnt to play the violin at school.
You're still-
I was afraid to.
Why?
Because you get teased at school. Back in my day, you used to get teased. The most instrument I learnt at school was a recorder.
Yeah. Well, you can still
I
learn.
can still do it
You
now.
can still learn.
But that's probably why I appreciate the disco era so much, because there were a lot of stringed instruments there, the violin, the cello,
Okay.
all of that, and you hear it now in my love of music now is Soulful House, which came from that era. And again, so many instruments, and it's live instruments being played. It's none of this electronic.
It's marvelous.
You know.
I think I got into music because I was. I mean, when I was very young, I got into music because I was. I suppose you could say I'm a loner. I've always sort of, you know what I mean, and so I got into music. And there was a couple of things I could do when I was young. I could swim. Actually, I wanted to swim the English Channel when I was young.
Wow.
So I wanted to do things like that.
Fair play to you.
The other thing, I think my mother bought me a guitar when I was very young, and then I paused with this guitar for years and years and years and years, and I never played. You know, like how you go in your bedroom, you pause.
Just an ornament.
And then one day I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try and play this guitar. And I start going to music school, and then I start playing this guitar, and then from music school I was invited to join this band, and I went and joined this band, and I started learning the different things, and then I started getting and start playing, and then I was started playing mainly by ear, and then after playing many years by ear, I started learning and just playing. I started learning the theory as well and knowing exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that is the very, very. That is
Wow.
the very, very
Do you play any other instruments?
I play keyboards.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
lovely.
And I play a bit of drums
Yeah.
as well. And I can get around on most instruments now because once you learn the basics,
Yes.
you know what I mean, you can actually
Yes,
transfer
a
it
couple of
onto.
friends of mine say the same.
Yeah, once
you know the basics.
Once you know the basics, you can actually transform. And I've only just pick up the violin because I got a very very good friend and she's
the
a
violin.
Violinist.
No, don't tell me that.
and she's a violinist, and I've always tried to work out to play the violinist because, and it's a string instrument,
Yeah.
so it's similar to the guitar,
Yeah.
but it's got no frets.
Yes.
It's got no frets.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she says, "Carl, this is how you do it," and she explained it, and I thought this is good. So you know,
It's just a beautiful sound that comes from.
it is a beautiful.
I watched the is it the Proms on BBC, and I mean these days I'd say in the past 10, 15 years you got the electric violin and a different style of playing, and I just sit and watch them in awe because I'm like, that is just something else. It's just the sound to me is beautiful, and the cello as well.
The cello.
Oh yeah.
There's some very
There's some very very nice sound in the cello.
Yeah.
So, what will you be doing in lockdown?
What will you be doing?
That's a question and a half.
What are you
isn't
going to
it?
be doing in
What
lockdown?
will I be doing in lockdown?
What are you going to be doing in lockdown?
I'm going to try and keep myself as busy as possible.
I'm busy again.
Thankfully, I started because I know earlier I said that I had my own business, which is in the health and wellness industry. My own sideline business, which is personal to me. And I started that in our last lockdown because I was so bored. And I thought, I'm going out of my head here. I need to do something. So I thought, you know what? I've had this business venture on the back burner for so long. Now is the time to do it.
Marvellous.
So I just took on board a load of free courses, of course, online, which aren't always the best, but you do learn something. And then I thought, I'm just going to get it started. And then I managed to get a friend to help me out with designing my website, which again was on the back burner for ages. And I just launched it. I said, you know what? One of the courses that I did, somebody on that course said, if you want to do anything, don't procrastinate, don't hesitate, just do it, whether you're ready or not, because you'll never be ready.
Marvellous.
And I did exactly that. My friend helped me sort this website out, and I just launched it, and that was it. And a few people have seen it, and they said, your website's fantastic. You're brave, you're brave, because you can just do it like that. And I said, it's not even fully ready. But I thought, if I don't launch it now, it's never going to get done. And thankfully, that has kept me busy. So, and hopefully it will keep me busy through this lockdown as well.
So
if it is 4 weeks.
On the start of the program, you always say you're a presenter. What sort of program do you present? How would you describe it?
I'm still trying to find an actual name for my show, but it's my idea was to present
Yeah.
a magazine style show
Yeah.
where I played music as well.
Okay.
Music that I loved and that I know a lot of people in my age demographic and
When-
from my genre.
When you say
loved as
magazine,
well.
what do you mean?
Magazine as in a chat show. A bit of a chat show where I'm talking about everyday, maybe current affairs. I try not to go too deep into politics because that's not my thing, and a lot of other people are already doing that. So, if there's something that affects us as a human race that we need to know about, I'll touch on the subject. I'll talk about it, but I'll just talk about everyday things like I have say a segment in my show where I'll talk about health and fitness. So I'll pick a topic from the health and fitness
Okay.
era, genre, or whatever you want to call it, and then I'll talk about that subject.
Fantastic.
And then I have another segment where I'll talk about what I call the I Salute You segment, where I salute a person from Black history
Okay.
and present, not just history, but also
Yes.
present, somebody that stands out in the community and as you know,
Marvelous.
sort of
Marvelous.
that I feel should be celebrated.
That's great. That's
So-
great. You say you don't do politics. We got a new elected president.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And
Well, I mean, I say we because when we say we, people think we say we even though we're living in London. Because
right.
whatever happens over there,
It happens
affects
over-
everyone.
It happens over-
yeah, it affects everyone. Everyone on this planet is affected by whatever happens in the US. And I have to say that I was rooting for Joe Biden all the
Was
way.
it?
Even though I had my doubts, I thought he's not going to win this. You know, he's not going to win it. But he's got to win it. He's got to win it. I mean, I'm not a Democrat, but I support the Democrats.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh God, he's not going to win it.
He's not gonna win this.
That man's too clever. That Trump is. But he pulled through.
It's amazing.
He pulled through.
Are you saying
Fake news now, is he
Exactly.
creating? Is
Yes.
he creating fake
That's
news
right.
now?
That's right. So
He's creating.
I know he's got something up his sleeve, so
He's
he's got to wait
creating-
for that.
It's really rather.
Yeah.
You
But
know-
I'm really pleased that he's.
I mean, the best
we
thing
waited
for,
long enough.
the
for
best
that
thing
result.
for him to do was to just walk away and says,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
and you know what I mean, God bless you guys. I've lost.
Even though I don't like the fact that I've lost.
Yeah.
God bless you guys.
Yeah.
I gotta move on. Let's unite the country.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
All the best.
Because
Goodbye.
if you love your country,
That's
you know what I mean.
right.
If you love your country, you love your people. You
That's
know,
right.
you wouldn't be creating all these sort of stuff, would
He's
you?
doing everything in his power to, and he's just coming across as a spoiled child. A spoiled
Yeah,
child
but-
and a narcissist, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
you know,
I say if you love your country, you know what I mean.
That's
You just back away. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in a if you're in a relationship with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And you say you love somebody, you know what I mean. You really love somebody,
Yeah.
well, and you can't get on.
Yeah.
But if you love someone, you get out of it, don't you?
that's right.
I mean, if he loves his country, you know what I mean,
right.
that's might be the politics
right.
now. If he loves his country,
Walk
with
away
all
with
that's going
dignity.
into it, just
Yeah.
walk away. You know what I mean? The advantage that a lot of people will say to me about
Biden.
Biden.
is how he's gonna set up in the White House and and I was saying to him, well, the advantage Biden's got is that he's got President Obama, who was president,
Exactly.
so he knows the runnings anyway.
He was vice
So he
president,
doesn't,
wasn't he?
doesn't-
Exactly.
So he doesn't need Donald Trump to
That's
show him
right.
the runnings.
That's
if
right.
he wants to play that
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
no,
And
no.
I mean, more and more has come out about has been revealed about his history,
Yeah.
which I didn't know. His history. He's been in politics for.
Yeah, he's been in politics for
And I mean, what inspired him to run for president this time was because of the passing of his son. And I'm like, I so admire that man. He's had so much grief in his life, and he's still going. And I'm like, you know what? He's what 70 odd,
Yeah, he's 70.
and anything is possible.
well, you know, they say
at whatever age.
70 years, you know, is the new 50.
It is. It is. That is very true.
That's what they say.
When I turned 50, I was 40. So, you know, I was definitely 40 in body, in mind, in spirit. But the age was 50, so there you go.
I'm still staying at 25.
You got to do it, haven't you? You've got to retain that age.
No.
You've got to do it. You'll go out of fashion otherwise. So
Elaine, I want to say thank you for coming to our show.
you're very welcome.
You know,
It's been very enjoyable.
It's very, thank you.
Thank you very much.
for thank you for taking the time out
Yes.
to come to our show. You know what I mean, and we say thank you very much and massive respect. So, and this feature of our show is called Giant of Music. Our Giant of Music was born in North London. She was discovered in a rehearsal studio by a member of the keyboard player from Aswad. At the particular time, Jamaican-born singer Alton Ellis was living in London and he was actually looking for a female vocalist to record a cover of Loving You by the legendary Minnie Riperton. Talking about the one and only Janet Kay. Janet Kay is from Wellesley, North London, and she is what you could say the queen of lovers rock. 1978 she recorded I Do Love You and What Friends Are For. She followed up with Silly Game in 1979. Written and produced by the legendary Dennis Boville, it became a big hit across Europe, reaching the top of the British charts. The success of Silly Games, I'm told, brought Janet Kay to appear on the BBC programme Top of the Pops. She was also in the sitcom No Problem, broadcast on Channel 4 1983 and 1985. As I say, Janet Kay is one of those wonderful artists that has wonderful success. She was a founding member of the BBI crew, Britain's first black theatre group made up of all black women. Some of her albums over the years are Capricorn, 1982, So Amazing, 1988, Sweet Surrender, 1981, Loving You, 1991, Love You Always, and many, many, many more. And I say, Janet Kay has been a lovers rock queen for such a long, long time. And she's also related to the Right Honourable Paul Bogle, National Hero of Jamaica. Her real name is Janet Kay Bogle. And as I say, she is a descendant of the Right Honourable Deacon Paul Bogle. She was included in the 2003 hits of Greatest Black Britain. Janet Kay has been our giant of music this week. She is also in the Guinness Book of Record, and Janet Kay is also the first female born in the UK to have a top reggae hit in the British charts. So we say thank you to Janet Kay. She has been our giant of music. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, and this week, artist to watch. This week, artist watch is a young artist from Birmingham, and he is what you could call a lovers rock singer, reggae and roots music, and he comes from a musical family. He has fused R&B and reggae in a smooth groove, you know what I mean? He has worked with several sound systems over the years. He also been the lead singer in a band called The Disciples. And they are a young band from Birmingham. And as I say, he's currently got a track out called Lady, which is absolutely a marvelous tune. So check out Robbie Levi, Birmingham artist, as I would say, artist from the West Midlands. And we say big shout out to you, Robbie. Keep doing what you're doing. Many thanks. This week's personal view of what's happening around the world. Sadly, we lost Jamaican musician Dalton Brown. Dalton Brown was a musical director for Freddie McGregor. He has worked with a whole lot of artists over the years, and he's also appeared on the Buju Banton latest album, and he was a member of the Brownie Bunch. So we say big condolence to the Brown family there. Dalton Brown and his family, big condolence. Jamaican Mark Golding, elected president of the People's National Party. UK still in lockdown until the 2nd of December. In Africa, Ethiopia on the brink of civil war as Prime Minister sends troops to quell rebellion. Canada, at least 2 people have been stabbed to death by a man in Quebec armed with a sword. China wants Trump to win the US election. Some believe it would be detrimental to the United States, giving Beijing the upper hand. In the USA, Joe Biden won the presidential election in the race for the White House. That is this week around the world. Let me say thank you for watching our show. And let me give a big round of applause once again to our very special guest, Elaine. Please remember to like us on all social media platforms. Breakthrough TV. And you can look up Carl and Errol. You can email us with your comments or any new idea about your era at breakthroughtv@gmail.com or campbell8794@yahoo.co.uk. Special thanks to Breakthrough TV and our sponsors, the ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Style Radio 98.7 FM. Please remember to like us on all social media platforms. breakthroughtv@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our show. God bless you. And I've always said before, the time is always right to do the right thing. Look after yourself and keep safe within this lockdown. God bless you all. Thank you.
Find your gold. You left me for Paris, the French capital. Even though I needed you, you left me for Paris, the French capital. Even though I needed you.